Hey y'all, so today is Money Monday, and today I want to talk about how to save for large purchases. So since becoming debt free, there have been two large purchases that I really wanted to make upon the end of my debt free journey, and I'm going to tell you how I did that. But before I get started, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. So let's talk about these big purchases that I made. So I really wanted to, once I became debt free, I made a decision, or honestly, before I became debt free, I was like, these are the things that I want to do immediately once I get my funds together. So after I became debt free, and I saved up my emergency fund. Remember, an emergency fund is 3 to 6 months of your expenses, right? So anything that you would need to keep yourself afloat in case of an emergency. So once I did that, I knew that I wanted to upgrade my phone. It was time for me to upgrade my phone. I had it since 2018, and the iPhones go, they're pretty good. They have some longevity to them. But I wanted to upgrade my phone because I wanted to just improve my video quality and things of that nature. And I wanted to buy a washer and dryer. So I had been going to the laundromat, y'all. I actually have been going to the laundromat since I moved here. And that's been about 3 years. So yes, I went to the laundromat for 3 years. Listen, my apartment did offer the washer and dryer, but you had to pay like an extra fee for it tacked on to the rent. I was like, no ma'am, that should be covered. And I like to cut out the middleman, y'all. So I was like, you know what, the laundromat ain't far. I'll just get back to my roots and I'll go to the laundromat. So I did that for 3 years. So to anybody who is watching this video and you are feeling like, I'm not going to be able to do this for much longer. How am I going to do this? Whether it's you going to the laundromat or whatever, keep going. Keep, reaching towards your financial goals, and you're going to get to where you want to be. But let's get back on track here. So those were the two purchases that I really needed to make. So the washer and dryer was about $13.34, and then the phone was about, the phone may have been like $13.86. It was in the 1300s. So those were the two big purchases that I wanted to save up for. Now, once you get the big purchase that you are trying to save up for, and you may have more than one like I did, rank them in order of importance. So although my phone was just a little bit raggedy, it was still getting the job done, right? So I knew that was going to be my second purchase, but I was getting tired of going to the laundromat. Your girl was ready for a washer and dryer set, and so I put that first. So make sure to rank whatever you're doing in order of importance. You may have to kind of play that by ear, right? So how much longer your current washer and dryer set got. How much longer your car has. Rank them in order of importance. That is so important. Once you do that, you want to actually go through the process like you're going to buy it. So I knew I wanted the washer and dryer first. So I went to several websites. I looked at the one that I was going to get, and I put it in my cart and went through, like the end of the process where it shows you taxes, fees, insurance, all of those things, right? Because you want to have a clear set price. And I'm talking about without discounts, because discounts are here and there sometimes. So go through that whole process like you're going to buy it. You may have to go to the store to talk to somebody, but you need to get a firm number so that you can know what to shoot for. Once you have that number, you want to write that number down, because y'all know it's so easy to forget things. You want to write that number down so that you know what you're shooting for, right? So that leads me to my next point, a sinking fund. A sinking fund is basically a fund that you are putting money in, and it's going to sink or collapse, once you get all of the money in there, and you can make the purchase that you want to make. So I kind of use this ideology here, where I was putting away money into a sinking fund because I knew that I was going to use that to purchase my washer and dryer. So what do you do when utilizing a sinking fund? First things first, you need to budget. So budgeting is such an important part in this process, y'all. You are not going to be able to get to where you want to go financially. You're not going to be able to get that new washer and dryer set or that new phone, whatever that item is, without budgeting. Budgeting is the first step to any financial freedom. So if you don't have a budget, but you're talking about a sinking fund, you can't skip over this step. Go back to step one, which is the budget. A budget is a plan for your money. So with your budget, you're going to make sure that every single dollar has a name. Every dollar is accounted for, right? And that leads me to my next point of, if every dollar is accounted for, then that means that you can put a line item in your budget for sinking fund, right? So that means that you're going to need to look at your budget to see where you can pull from. You may add a percentage on it. Okay, I'm going to save 10% from every check. That's why it's important to have your firm number, because once you have your firm number, you need to decide, how quick do you want to get this, right? Do you want to get it in 2 months? Do you want to get it within the next 6 months? Once you get that time frame locked down, then that's how you're going to base your budget off of that, right? So if you want to get the washer and dryer set in 2 months, and let's just say it's $200. Y'all know ain't no washer and dryer set $200, but come with me here for this example. And you want to get it in 2 months, you're going to save $100 a month, right? So that's how simple it is. Get the number of your item, get the time frame that you want to have it by. Make sure that you are budgeting to do that. And then you're going to choose how quickly you want it, right? It depends on you. So I know that once I got my emergency fund saved, I wanted that washer and dryer quick, right? So I immediately started saving. I started saving all of the money from some of my side jobs. So that really helped me to get the washer and dryer much quicker than I expected. So don't just stop your side hustles once you become debt free or once you get to your financial goals. Still use those side hustles to kind of get ahead, right? To get those items that you want. Now, it's so important to track how much you are saving, okay? That is really important, because as you're getting your sinking fund, you may, choose to pull that sinking fund out in cash. You may choose to just keep it in your checking account, or maybe you have 2 checking accounts and you place the money over there. However you do it, but you need to track how much you are saving. That is a part of your budget. And that also lets you know how quickly you're going to get to your goal. That also lets you know that, okay, maybe I'm not saving enough, so I need to up this thing. Or maybe I'm actually, kind of going overboard, and I'm going to get there quicker. But it's important for you to track those funds, right? So you would track those funds via your budget. You can also track them like what I did. So as I was doing my sinking fund, I wouldn't add my sinking fund into my budget because I knew that I wasn't going to touch that money. So I would just kind of have a paper and pencil ledger where I would track how much I had. I could just pull it up, within my little notebook that I keep with me. Or maybe you want to keep your ledger just in your phone. But it is so important for you to be tracking those funds, because you want to see if you're doing something wrong, or you really want to be able to mimic what you're doing right. I know some people like the little graphics with the stairs and the bricks. You can get those things off of like Pinterest or Etsy. Just Google like sinking fund images, and there's a lot of fun ways to track them like that as well. I just was a little old fashioned. I just needed to have my number written down somewhere so that I could know how much that I had. This is another big step. Don't be tempted to use that money for something else, right? So my washer and dryer was like $1,334. So once I got to that like $1,000 range, I know I was like, I probably could just get the phone right now, But listen, you have to be disciplined to not use that money for anything else, because once you see that money starting to grow, once you, start to feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm reaching my financial dreams, you are really going to have to continue to stay diligent and to stay disciplined to not utilize that money for anything else. That's why for some folks, it may be better to put it in a totally separate bank account that you do not have a debit card for, right? It may be better for you to have it in cash for some people. I just kept mine in my account because that was a large purchase and I wasn't, going to pay for it in cash. I was just going to use my debit card, to pay for that. So remember, y'all, the temptation does not go away once you start getting on the right track with financial principles. Temptation is just so easy to fall into. So whatever you have to do, those mechanisms that we put in place for ourselves so that we don't go over our budget, so that we don't spend something that's really allotted for something else. It is so important for you to find out what that is for you and make sure that you utilize it when you are saving for a big purchase. So fast forward to me saving, for the washer and dryer set, me saving for the phone. I actually was able to do that in just a matter of months. So in November, I got the washer and dryer set. And then just this past month, I got the phone. So once you get on track with your financial principles, it is really so easy to get the things that you want. And the purpose of saving for these things is so that you can build the financial future that you want. I can't tell you how good it feels to be able to go and pay for something and that is it. Because I remember a time for me where I would go and get something, but those payments came home with me. As you're getting it in the store, you're happy, you're excited, but once you get back home, that reality sets in for real. So save for what you want. Do not fall into fear of missing out or FOMO. That stuff is still going to be there. That sale's going to come back around. Listen, if you don't get that one, you will get a better one. So please stick to your savings goals no matter what it takes. I know it's hard, y'all, as somebody who had to learn financial principles, but you got what it takes. And if you want to know more about my financial journey, be sure to check out one of these playlists. Bye.